A couple hours in, I was like, well, that didn't go exactly how I planned. I mean, driving for 4 hours and expecting one thing and another thing happens, I'm like, this freaking sucks. Rise and grind. How are all my beautiful people out there? Hopefully you guys having a great day. Hopefully you worked out today. If not, shame on you. But nah, in all seriousness, we're about to hit you with another poker vlog. And as you guys can see, we're on the road and we're headed back to Texas. The last time we were in El Paso, we hit up Sun City Card Club, and it was a super fun spot, super crazy action, and we're hoping to do that again this time. But this time, we're gonna hit up a new location. We got invited to a scheduled 2-5 game at the House of Kings. I guess on Tuesdays they have a bigger 2-5 game. So it's supposed to be pretty good, and we're just gonna see what it's all about. I do apologize, I haven't posted any vlogs recently. I just haven't had the time. I've been super busy the last 3 weeks. And the reason I've been super busy, well, a lot of you guys don't know, I am an actor and a model, and I've been on set the last 3 weeks, 12, 14-hour days, each and every day. So been doing that, haven't had any opportunity to leave town and play any cards. I think it's been a month and a half since I've played any cards whatsoever. Yeah, I think Talking Stick was about a month and a half ago. So we're a little rusty, but we're fresh, we're ready. Hopefully make some money and hopefully get some good content for you guys. What else is going on with Matty Ice? Oh, some of you guys are probably wondering, I have my glasses on. The reason for that, I mean, I don't think you guys ever seen me with my glasses. And yeah, the reason for that is I'm actually getting LASIK in a couple days. And the doctor said can't wear contacts a week prior to the surgery. So yeah, I've been rocking the specs. I mean, what do you guys think? I've been wearing glasses since I was probably 5-6 years old. I mean, my eyes are pretty bad, and contacts I think since maybe freshman year of high school. So I've always had to wear something or else I can't see whatsoever. So really looking forward to getting this surgery. Like I said, it's in a couple days, so this will be the last time you guys see me with glasses. I mean, that's the goal. I mean, hopefully I won't have to wear anything ever again after this surgery. So wish me luck for that. Wish me luck for this trip, and hopefully I can make some money and get some good content. But that's enough of me rambling, and we'll see you guys when we get there. All right, guys, we just pulled up. We made it, so let's get after it. After about a 4-hour car ride, we arrive at the House of Kings Card Club in El Paso, Texas, around 6:15 p.m., and we're ready to play. We asked for the 2-5 game as planned, but the table was already full, and there was a super long list, at least 10, if not more. But they had another game going on, 1-2, and there was an open seat, and we didn't drive all this way to hang around and wait, so we get started. This was probably the biggest capped 1-2 no limit buy-in games that I ever played, besides the 1-2 no cap buy-in games in Vegas or something like Match the Stack. The minimum buy-in here was $60 and the max was $700. So for a 1-2 game, $700, that's pretty deep. So that's what we start with first, $700, and we get involved about 20 minutes in. There's a $5 button straddle, and at this location, the button or under the gun, you're allowed to straddle up to $10. So in this hand, the button straddle for $5. And we're first to act, and we look down at the beautiful pocket aces. We're definitely gonna raise it up, but it's always hard to know what sizing to use with such a great hand in the worst position on a straddle. If you go too small, then everyone and their mom calls. And if you go too big, then no one calls, and you don't get any value with your strongest hands. So we go with a little bit in between. We go 5X and we throw out 25. The big blind gets out of the way. The under the gun makes the call. Middle position makes the call. Cutoff calls. And the button calls. So no shortage of action here in Texas. 5 ways to a flop. And it comes Jack 8-5 with 2 diamonds. An okay board, unless we're up against a set. We should be in good shape, but our hand definitely needs some protection. So we throw out a C-bet and we throw out 55. The under the gun gets out of the way and action on middle position, and he announces all in for around 135 total. The other players quickly get out of the way, and I'm pretty sure he's not doing this with a set, probably just a draw of some sort. So we make the call. He asked me if I want to run it once or twice, and I don't really care either way, and he just says 2 times, so on to 2 runouts. Sure, whatever you want, man. He flips over King Jack offsuit for top pair, King kicker, so we're in really good shape to scoop. The first run out, super clean for us. The second run out, the turn, super clean. All we have to do is fade a king or a jack on the river. Come on, dealer, no paint. And yep, he spikes a jack. So he takes down the second board. It's a little unfortunate. We're in really good shape to scoop, but we just chop up everybody else's money. After that hand, we don't really get involved for a full hour. We get some decent pre-flop hands, pocket pairs, ace king, ace queen, but we don't really hit any boards. So we chip down a little bit and we add on to our stack $100. Then this hand happens. A little frustration is starting to build up. We're in the big blind and there's a $6 button straddle. We have Jack 7 of diamonds. The small blind gets out of the way and we just decide to limp, throw in $4 more. And we instantly regret it because the under the gun raises to 35. I honestly don't know why I thought I was going to see a cheap flop, because up until this point, there hasn't been one single limped pot. I don't know, wishful thinking, I guess. The action folds all the way to the button, and he comes along, and we're closing the action, and again, we're getting impatient, so we throw in $29 more and see a flop. So we go 3 ways out of position, and it comes 993 rainbow. We have absolutely nothing, not even a single diamond to fall back on. So we check, and the action checks around, so we get to see a free turn. And it comes the 2 of hearts. So we went from nothing to now super nothing, or what's worse than nothing? I don't know. We have shit, basically. But with all the passiveness, I don't think they have anything either. And I don't think offsuit 2 helped anyone. So we could only win by betting. And we definitely want to win a hand because, like I said, we haven't been involved for a long time. So we just want to have some chips come our way. So we lead for $50. The under the gun pre-flop aggressor gets out of the way. Action on the button, who thinks for about 20 seconds and ultimately calls. I knew it wasn't going to be that easy, so we're definitely looking for some help on the river. And it comes, the queen of spades. There's definitely no way we can win this hand without betting. I guess unless he has 6-4 or 5-4 of hearts, but what are the odds he's going to check back those hands, right? So we're definitely going to have to throw out some more money. I don't know, maybe this is a punt, but there's around $155 in the middle. And we go almost a pot-sized bet, and we throw out 120. Lucky for us, he snap folds and finally gets some more chips pushed our way. Every 30-minute dealer change here at the House of Kings, they do an Omaha double board bomb pot, and we go over on the night in these bomb pots. I think we see maybe 1 turn, but I just want to say I cannot seem to be able to show all 4 cards smoothly with one hand. I can do chip tricks for days with both hands, but I just cannot seem to flare out all 4 cards super cleanly. Maybe I should take up Omaha for a bit to learn how to do that. But moving on to this hand, we're on the button straddle this time, and we straddle to $5. The small blind first to act, limps for 5, and there's a lot more limpers. The under the gun 1, the low jack, the high jack, and the cutoff. Action on us, and we look down at 3-5 offsuit. We just check our option and go super multi-way to a flop, and it comes 4-4-6 with 2 hearts. The action checks all the way to the hijack, who throws out a bet, makes it $10. The cutoff makes the call. We're next to act, and we have open-ended, and we're in the button straddle, and we just checked our option, so we can definitely have any 2 cards, a 4 being one of them, and no one else should really have a 4 in this spot, unless it's ace 4 suited. So I should definitely have more 4s in my range than theirs. So I raise it up. I make it 55 to go. The small blind cold calls the 55, which is a little concerning. The low jack gets out of the way. The initial better, the high jack, makes the call, and the cutoff gets out of the way. So we narrow the field a little bit. 3 ways to a turn. Definitely looking for one of our outs, a 7 or a 2 for a disguised straight. And the turn comes. It is one of those cards. It's a 2 of spades. We not only hit our straight, but the front door flush misses and should be a brick for everyone. And when the action checks to me, we're no longer semi-bluffing anymore. We got a bet for value. And if we had missed hearts, we'd probably still be firing. So that's what we do here. And we go a little over half pot, make it 130. The small blind thinks about it for a little bit and makes the call. Action on the hijack. And he tanks for a little bit also, but he ultimately folds. So heads up to a river, hoping for a brick. And it is a blank, it's a 7 of spades. He checks to me, and he barely has us covered. Probably has around 450 in his stack. And hoping he puts us on missed hearts. If he has hearts himself, he's just gonna snap fold any size bet. So gotta go for the max. I mean, if he was trapping with the full house, we're gonna get a snap call and just donate money. But if we do have hearts, we'd probably be doing the same thing. So we announce all in. We do avoid the snap call. So now we know we have the best hand, and now we're just hoping for a call. He tanks for a really long time, around 2 minutes.
Will you show? All my customers.
Also,
You show?
yeah. Might make a vlog too, so who knows?
All your...
Yeah, I film. He does finally throw in a chip for a call. We flip over our cards, and he mucks. I ask him to show for the vlog, so he does reach over and flip over his cards, and he did have a 4 for trips. I usually don't ask people to show the losing hand, but it was a decent sized pot, so I just kind of wanted some clarification for you guys. He was a super cool guy. His name was Fabian, and we actually get involved with him this next hand we're going to go over. It was about 30 minutes later. We're in the end of the gun with King 10 suited. We raised to $10. Fabian to my left is the only caller, so we're heads up to a flop, and it comes 4, 7, ace, all clubs. We flop the absolute nuts, and we're first to act, and no slow playing monsters here, so we throw out a bet, C-bet to $10. He makes the call for 10. The turn is a red 5, it's a 5 of diamonds. We bet again, this time a little more, make it 25. And surprisingly, he actually raises, he makes it $80 to go. One of the best feelings in the world is when you have the absolute nuts and your opponent is raising you. And this is where we kind of have to make a decision. Do we repop it or do we just smooth call? I think raising in this spot is just super strong. If I had something like top pair, 2 pair, or the naked king of clubs, I wouldn't really be putting in a raise and taking that line. So we just decide to smooth call and hope for a blank on the river so we can check and he can fire out again. But the river does not come a blank. It's a 4 of spades, pairing the board. We check to him, hoping to call off any reasonable size bet. I mean, if he happens to jam for his remaining $350, $400, we might just have to lay this one down. But that doesn't happen. He throws out a bet, a little over $100, I think 115 total, and I quickly snap call. We can't really put in a raise for value because we're only getting called by better, and he flips over his cards and he has Jack 8 of clubs. Just a cooler flush over flush, but luckily for us, it goes our way. Not too long after that hand, we have pocket 2s in the big blind. There's a few limps, the under the gun 1 and the button, and action on the small blind, and he actually raises to 15. No one really limped 3 bets, so I figured if I call, the under the gun 1's gonna call, and the button's gonna come along as well. So getting a good price, we just throw in the $13 more, and as expected, they both make the call, the under the gun 1 and the button. So we're 4 ways to a flop, and we flop bottom set on queen 2-3 rainbow board. The small blind surprisingly checks, and we want to build a pot, so we lead for $20. The under the gun 1 folds, and the button actually raises 3x to 60. The small blind gets out of the way, and the button has around 250 behind, and I don't think we're gonna have any trouble getting it all in on the turn or the river, so we just decide to smooth call. The turn is a 7 of spades, bringing in the backdoor flush draw. We check to him, and he doesn't take too long before jamming his entire stack. Another scenario where I don't think he's doing this with a set, so we have the best hand, so we snap call. We just run it one time, and the river is a 5 of clubs. He flips over his hand, the dealer announces 2 pair, and we take it down. The next hand we get involved in, there's a limp in the end of the gun. Action folds all the way around to me, and we look down at pocket aces on the button. We raise it up, we make it $20. Both blinds get out of the way, and the limper makes the call. So heads up in position to a flop. And we flop top set this time on an ace 3-6 rainbow board, which kind of sucks, heads up, to be honest, hitting top set, because an ace should hit me more than him, and any pair that he either has or gets on the turn or the river, the ace is gonna scare him, so basically kill my action. He checks to us in flow, and we throw out a small c-bet of $10. He quickly makes the call. The turn is a 9 of diamonds, brings in the backdoor flush draw. He checks again, and let me clarify what I mean by I don't slow play monsters, because I've said it in this vlog and numerous other ones. I don't slow play initially, meaning on the flop, like in this case where we flop top set, or if I flop a straight or a flush, I don't like to slow play monsters. But on the turn or the river, depending on the dynamic or player type, I will check out of position just to induce a bet out of my opponent. We just check it back because he has a little over $100 in his stack. And in this case, we're not really afraid of any river card. If he has 2 pair and the board pairs for his full house, we obviously win because we'll have a bigger full house. And if he does have air, he's more than likely gonna throw out a bet because that's his only way of winning the hand. So potentially more value for us by checking on the turn. The river comes and the diamonds miss. It's a 5 of clubs, and he surprisingly leads on this card. He throws out a small amount, $15, so maybe he did have something like 2 pair or a slow played set himself, and he's trying to get some value on the river. But we have top set, so now it's time to put in a raise, and we make it $50. He quickly jams all in his entire stack, and I obviously snap call, thinking it's gonna be set over set, but he flips over his hand, and he has 2-4 of diamonds. So he hit a wheel on the river, one of the 2 hands that could beat us, 2-4 and 4-7 for straight. He didn't really have that much money in his stack, so it didn't really hurt that much. If he did have more money in his stack, if we were playing a lot deeper, I definitely would have played the hand a lot differently and a lot better, with bigger sizings and continuing on the turn, building the size of the pot. But oh well, what are you gonna do? We just laugh it off internally and shake it off. And 2 hands later, we're in the hijack with Jack 10 suited. The under the gun limps for $2. Action folds around to us, and we raise it up and make it 15. The big blind and limper make the call, so 3 ways to a flop. And it comes Jack high, Jack 4-2 rainbow. The action checks to us, and we throw out a c-bet, make it 15. They both make the call. The turn is even better. It's a 10 of diamonds, so giving us top 2 pair now. They both check to us again, and we're not going to make the same mistake by checking the turn. We continue, we throw out 55, but no more action for us. They both fold. Not even an orbit later, we're in the out of the gun, and we have ace 10 suited. We raise it up, make it $10. The next act, the under the gun 1 makes the call. The cutoff and button make the call. The small blind gets out of the way, and big blind makes the call. So 5 ways to a flop, and it comes 6-3 jack with 2 diamonds. The big blind checks to us, and we can't always c-bet every single hand, can we? And we don't really want to get blown off our equity if we c-bet, and if somebody raises, it's just gonna put us in a weird spot. So we check as well, and surprisingly, the action checks all the way around, so we get to see a free turn. And it's a good one, it's a queen of diamonds, so we hit our nut flush. The big blind checks to us again, and got to start building a pot now. So we throw out a delayed c-bet, throw out 35. The under the gun 1 cold calls at 35. the cutoff and the button get out of the way, and the button comes along as well. So 3 ways to a river, and it's another diamond. It's a 5 of diamonds. Damn it, we did not need that extra diamond. Now it's going to be even harder to get value. We still have the nuts, so we can't lose the hand, but like I said, it's going to be harder to get value now. The big blind checks us for a 3rd time, and now we're just debating on what size to use. Like I said, it's going to be harder to get paid, so we go with the smaller sizing, throw out $60, because the only thing that I think we can get value from is the king of diamonds or the jack of diamonds, because all the other diamonds are already accounted for. The under the gun 1 snap folds, and the big blind laughs and follows suit. We flip over our cards, and he actually had pocket 3s. Ugh, that river did cost me. Come on, dealer, a blank, 1 time, could have got it all. I had it.
I know.
I got lucky, you got lucky. You're talking about you could have lost your whole stack there.
I already knew you had the flush.
You knew I had the flush? Did he get lucky or did I get lucky? I mean, if a diamond doesn't come on the river, then I think I get his entire stack. You guys can decide for yourselves, but moving on to this hand, we're on the button straddle for $5. The small blind gets out of the way, the big blind calls, the under the gun calls, everyone else folds to us, and we look down at king queen offsuit. A decent hand on the button straddle, so we raise it up and make it $30 to go. They both make the call, so 3 ways to a flop, and it comes 9, 2, 7, all spades. We have the queen of spades, but monotone board, so when the action checks to us, we just decide to check back. The turn is an ace of spades, so we have the second nuts now. The action checks to us again, and like I said, we have the second nuts, but we still decide to check, and I cannot tell you why. I really don't have a good answer for you, but that's what we do, we check. The river is a 4 of spades, so a lot of spades now are accounted for. The big blind checks, the under the gun actually leads on this card for $12. And now maybe we can go for some thin value since we played the hand so passively. Maybe a jack or a 10 of spades could call a raise. So that's what we do. We raise $30, super small, super thin value. The big blind gets out of the way, and the under the gun is the same player that had the 2-4 when we flopped top set of aces. So I learned he was a super tight player, and he's just chilling back, eating a sandwich, and picks up a stack and just slams it down in front of him. Fucking serious. And you could even tell the sound of my voice, the frustration. I show the queen of spades and muck. And after I muck, he shows his cards, and he had king 5 of spades. Let me know what you guys think of my super slim value raise on the river. Should I have just called, or do you not mind my raise? The last hand we're going to go over, it's well past midnight at this point, and we're only 7-handed. The under the gun limps for $2. The next to act also limps. The hijack folds onto us in the cutoff, and we have ace-8 offsuit. Shorter handed and having an ace is a little more valuable, so we raise it up and make it 15 to go. The button folds, so we're going to be in position the rest of the hand. Both blinds get out of the way. The under the gun and the middle position call, so we're 3 ways to a flop. And it comes 5, 7, 3 with 2 clubs. We have backdoor straight, backdoor flush, but when the action checks to us, we just check it back. The turn comes at 8 of spades, so we have top pair, top kicker now. The under the gun leads on this card for $15. The middle position calls, and we come along as well, so we just make the call. The river pairs the board, it's the 3 diamonds. The under the gun continues, this time for $30. The middle position gets out of the way, and we don't think much of it. We just toss in the money for a call. He shows a 5 of clubs for 2 pair, and I show a bigger 2 pair, so we take it down. Maybe at a bigger game, I would have put in a value raise, because we have a decent hand, and we have the ace of clubs blocker. So a few more factors come into play, depending on the size of game that you're playing, and the player type, of course. But we take down another pot, and we play for another 30 minutes after that, but decide to call it a night, and we rack up our chips, cash out, and book a solid win. What's up, guys? We just cashed out, and gotta say, all in all, it was a pretty good session. Get into the numbers right quick. We were in for 700, the max at the beginning. We added on 100, so total in for 800, out for 1702. So profit over $900 and pretty good hourly. We played for 6.5 hours, 6 hours. So I will take that each and every time. I know I said at the beginning that I was going to play a 2-5 and I just couldn't get on the table. I was on the list. I put my name down on the list like a couple days ago, and I guess they start at 5 o'clock, and if you're not here, which I was like one of the top 8 or 9 people scheduled to be on that first table, but I wasn't there at 5 o'clock. I got in town at 6:15, 6:30. So just your name goes at the bottom of the list. So there was a deep list, and they called my name around 11:30, almost midnight, but I knew I wasn't going to stay too much longer after that, and I didn't want to start a whole new table where I didn't know anybody, and I was already doing so well at the 1-2 table, and I didn't want to get up because I was doing good. But yeah, no, it was a really good session. Like I said, there's a few hands I wish I'd have played differently. Like that one hand, he flopped a flush on me, and I raised with the second nuts, and he was just a super tight player, stuff like that. I mean, checking when I shouldn't have, or I don't know. You guys that play cards, you guys know that you wish you could have take back some of those hands and made a little more, or just lost a little bit less, kind of thing. But all in all, it was really good. I mean, it did kind of suck. Like when I first got there, I was like, oh, okay, I'll just wait on the list for 2-5. But a couple hours in, I was like, well, that didn't go exactly how I planned. I mean, driving for 4 hours and expecting one thing and another thing happens, I'm like, this freaking sucks. But I mean, it turned out all right, don't you think? I mean, profit $900. I mean, I guess I could have lost 2,000-3,000 at the 2-5, and we'd be having a whole new different outro. So can't complain. I mean, I'll definitely be back here in El Paso. I don't even know if there's any other card clubs. I mean, there's that other one that I went to, but this one, the House of Kings, I mean, 9-10 tables, super good looking poker club, poker room. I think there's free beer, free tacos on Tuesdays, kind of thing. I mean, I don't drink, and you guys know me, I have my own food, so that doesn't really interest me. But I mean, free, all that stuff. I mean, if you drink and like to play cards, I mean, why not come to these places down in El Paso? So definitely going to be back, but I am super tired, and I'm going to get some sleep. And who knows where we'll end up next time. I mean, hopefully somewhere else in Texas. I mean, Vegas is always a go-to, but definitely going to get a lot more content for you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Always remember, it's a great day. You're alive. You saw this. And yeah, I'm Matty Ice. Always remember that. This is Games Poker. Peace out.